Okay, class, hello. Well, we have finished week number 1 and week number 2. Basically, between these 2 weeks, we complete chapter number 2, which is about fake theory. Okay, and we start reviewing chapter number 3, module number 2, which is about logic. And the only thing that we cover this week that has been finished is section 3.1 and 3.2 for that chapter number 3. Okay, so what we're going to do in this week that is starting on September 9, week number 3. Okay, we're going to go with, we're going to continue with chapter number 3 in module 2, chapter number 3, module 2, and we're going to cover sections 3.3, 3.4, and 3.5. Basically, what we're going to do is just to review truth tables, to define truth tables for different type of statement. In this case, the statements that we are going to check are combination of the different statements that we reviewed during the first week. It might be a simple compound statements, or it might be combination of the compound statements that we already reviewed. And we are going to derive something that is called the truth tables. The truth table, what it's telling to you is when a compound statement is true or false according with the values of truthness of each one of the component of that compound statement. That's what we're going to review in this section for this week that start this Monday, September 9. So section 3.3, 3.4, and 3.5. Now, the other thing that I want to comment to you guys is that remember that homework number 2, homework and quiz number 2 is due today before the end of the day. It's due today, September 9, before the end of the day. And the other thing that is very important to keep in mind is because we already finished chapter number 2, now we're going to make on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, September 11, we're going to make, we're going to have our first sectional test, which is about chapter number 2, okay? It's about section 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, and 2.5. So review all your material. You have already a lot of material, already a lot of practice because you're supposed to finish with homework number 1 and homework number 2. Okay, so you are already prepared to take this test. This test will be open in MyLabMath between September 11 and September 12. This last day that is going to be available, this test, is going to be on September 12th, and the test should be submitted before that day and before midnight that day. Okay? And remember that once that you launch the test, you need to finish the test. There is no way that you can stop and then resume the test later on. No. Once that you open the test, you need to finish that one. Okay, so let me just to show you a little bit of detail about what we're going to review this week. And let me change to here, okay, to student view. Okay, let me go to the student view. So we already finished module number 1. Now we are working with module number 2. For module number 2, last week we reviewed sections 3.1 and 3.2, which is basically the different type of statements that we may have in logic. Okay, now this week we're going to review section 3.3, 3.4, and 3.5. Basically establish truth table for different type of statements. Okay, so whatever you see here in blue is the material that we covered already last week. You have a lot of material. Let me tell you that in the lecture that I provide you with last week, I provide you with two lectures. One lecture for section 3.1 and another lecture that already include section 3.3. So we already review in advance the first one for this week, which is section 3.3, which is truth table for negation, conjunction, and disjunction. Well, disjunction. So you have that already. So what you need to cover for this week is again that section 3.3, which is this one, and the lecture is here, okay? But what you have here in black is what you need to cover this week, okay? Besides 3.3, the lecture 3.3, that is already in here in this document that is already available for you because I opened that last week, okay? You had the first lecture for chapter 3, section 3.4 and 3.5, okay, which is a truth table for conditional, biconditionals and equivalent statements. You had the lecture notes, as you know already, for section 3.3 to 3.5. Now I include one exercise for 3.3, but you have also for 3.4 and 3.5. Okay, then you have the notes, the keys for the notes. Okay, but I'm going to give you some time. So the lecture note is going to be available today, but the keys for this lecture note is going to be available on Wednesday because I'm going to give you at least 2 days to I'm going to give you that time so you can do by yourself those exercises and practice by yourself. If you are struggling with those one, then on Wednesday you're going to be able to see the keys over here. I also suggest some videos for these ones. And also you have an additional material that I call questionnaires. So you have one questionnaire for section 3.3. You have here in this document the keys of this questionnaire. So my suggestion is choose some of the exercise, okay, for this questionnaire, try to do by yourself. And if you are struggling with those ones, well, go and review the keys and see how I got that solution for each one of them. This video that you see here is a video about this questionnaire, how I break down the solution. So I make a video in which I explain the breakdown of the solution for some of the exercise that I choose over there. Exactly the same thing for section 3.4. I make a questionnaire here. That is the questionnaire number 3. You have the keys. So the questionnaire, this questionnaire is available today, but the keys is going to be available on September 11, on Wednesday. So I'm giving to you some window that you can do by yourself. You can practice by yourself, okay? And then you can, if you are struggling with some of the exercise, well, you can review the keys. And at the end, you also have you have a video in which I break down the solution for this questionnaire. In some of the exercise, not all of them, some of the exercise choose, some of the exercise. Well, this is basically the material that you have for this week to review. Okay, besides that, you're gonna have homework number 3 and quiz number 3. The corresponding links I haven't included yet because I haven't finished to set up the homeworks. I have a general homework, but I think that I'm going to include more exercise, okay? Because the one that I have really have only 14 exercises, and I want to include more exercise for you guys in this one. So in that way, you're gonna have more opportunity to practice a little bit more. So it's a lot of material, I understand, but we have 7 days. okay, to conclude that. Well, this is the update that I have for today, guys, about the activities that we're gonna cover on September 9 all the way down to September 15. Okay, so this is gonna be our week number 3. Okay, well, thank you.